Example 4. If p plus 2, comma, 2p plus 3, and 5p minus 2 are three consecutive terms of an arithmetic sequence, find the value of p if p is an element of the real number set. So term 1 is p plus 2, term 2 is 2p plus 3, and term 3 is 5p minus 2. So it's important to note that these are meant to be consecutive terms, which means one after the next. So the first, the second, the third, for example, or the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, and so on. So they're consecutive terms, they're one after the next. And it's also important to note the word arithmetic. So this is intended to be an arithmetic sequence, which means that the common difference is the same. So the first difference is going to be the same, the difference between each of the terms. So the difference between the first three terms should be the same. So term 1, we're going to call p plus 2. Term 2, we're going to call 2p plus 3. And term 3, we're going to call 5p minus 2. Now, as I said, these could be terms 6, 7, and 8, or terms 11, 12, 13. I'm just choosing 1, 2, and 3, but they're not necessarily the first, second, and third term. The important thing is that they are consecutive. They are one after the next. So it's important to learn off this rule. I wouldn't learn it off as a formula as such. I would learn off the rule and try and understand what it actually means. So if if it's an arithmetic sequence, the difference between term 2 and term 1, so term 2 minus term 1, must be equal to term 3 minus term 2. So in another way, there's a million different ways you could explain this. You could say term 2 minus term 1 is equal to term 7 minus term 6, or equal to term 10 minus term 8, and so on. So I'm going to go with 1, 2, and 3 because I labeled them term 1, term 2, and term 3. And I'm going to substitute into this little formula now. But it is important to understand what this actually means and not just learn it off by heart. So I'm going to replace term 2 with 2p plus 3 with brackets. I'm going to bring down the minus. I'm going to replace t1 with p plus 2 with brackets. Bring down the equals. Replace term 3 with 5p minus 2 with brackets. Bring down the minus. And replace t2 with 2p plus 3 with brackets. The brackets are really, really important, especially for p plus 2 and 2p plus 3. So that's the sequences part. The next is algebra, multiplying out the brackets and simplifying. So I bring down the 2p and the plus 3, then multiplying in the minus. Minus times p is minus p, minus times 2 is minus 2. Bring down the equals. Bring down the 5p, bring down the minus 2. Multiplying in the minus, minus times 2p is minus 2p. Multiplying in the minus, minus times 3 is minus 3. So then I'm going to bring all the p's to the left, so letters to the left and numbers to the right. So the 5p comes over and becomes minus 5p. The minus 2p comes over, becomes positive 2p. The plus 3 comes over, becomes minus 3. And the minus 2 comes over, it becomes positive 2. Then I simplify. So 2p minus p minus 5p plus 2p gives me minus 2p. And minus 2 minus 3 minus 3 plus 2 is minus 6. And then dividing across by minus 2, minus 6 divided by minus 2 is 3. So p is equal to 3. And that's what we were asked to find. We were asked to find the value of p, which is an element of the real number set. Now that's all you were asked to find in this question. You were just asked to find p. But if it went on to say, hence, find the three terms, all you would have to do is sub in 3 in place of each of the p's. So 3 plus 2 is 5. So the first term is 5. Remember now we decided that this was term 1. This was the first term. This could be any term so long as they're consecutive. The next term is 2 times p, so 2 times 3, which is 6, plus 3 is 9. So the next term is 9, and so on. So it didn't ask you to actually work out what the terms are, but in some questions it will.